I love this theory. This is crazy and insane. You know, this could be true.
If you were to boil down the various elements of Stranger Things into what makes the show so great, you would no doubt talk about the characters, the 80s references, the story and plot, and the twists that happened throughout the 3 seasons so far, and of course, you would talk about the monsters. The Upside Down has provided us with looks at not just a nightmare dimension, but a look at monsters that have haunted the Hawkins crew and their families for seasons now. But what if everything you think you know about the monsters, especially the Demagorgon, is wrong? Allow us to show you Stranger Things fan theory. What if the Demagorgon was this beloved character? Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
Just a reminder about our new giveaway. We're giving away the new iPad Pro or the new iMac Pro. The choice is yours. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple.
Number 10. Just to be clear, we're not saying that this is true or that this is going to be a plot thread picked up during Season 4 of Stranger Things. But when it comes to this show, the fan theories have been just as interesting as the show itself. Plus, Stranger Things leaves a lot of wiggle room for fan theories to exist because they've done a great job of slow burning some of the biggest mysteries and not explaining certain elements up front. Thus, fans feel they need to make these theories to try and put together the pieces of the puzzle to see if they're right. And sometimes, they honestly have been. Others have been totally wrong, but a few have been right, and with this one, if it's right, it would be one of the biggest twists in the whole series. Which we know is saying something given some of the twists we've had so far. So, with that explanation, please give this one an open mind. Number 9. The Demagorgon is actually Will Byers.
He made me do it. I told you. They upset him.
What a twist! No, but seriously, one person on Reddit made a rather compelling argument that everything going on in Stranger Things is much more than it appears. Mainly that it's part of a time loop, and it all has to do with the Upside Down and what it really is. Which is an important distinction to make because right now we honestly don't know everything that is the Upside Down. We know that a gate was ripped open for it because of Eleven and the experiments done to her by the government, and we know that the place is covered in a hive mind of plants controlled by the Mind Flayer, and that the Demagorgons and other beings from within the dimension seem to come from there. But what if that's not true? What if the Upside Down is a post-apocalyptic version of Hawkins?
The government is forced to drop a nuclear weapon on Hawkins, but the Demagorgons survive.
Number 8. The Dark Future. There are many ways that this makes sense, but the biggest one is that the Upside Down, as we understand it, is a parallel dimension right alongside our Earth, which could mean that, in regards to comic book logic, it could be a part of a multi-universe of dimensions and potentially another Earth. One that fell and is seeking to expand its reach to our dimension. Or it could be that what the scientists found was not another Earth as we know it, but actually our Earth, just in the future. A very dark future where the Mind Flayer rules everything and created the Demagorgon and its kin to help ensure its reign, including by making a time loop to ensure the end result of the Upside Down happening. This actually tracks with how certain characters react to it, including Eleven, noting that the Upside Down is like the reverse side of a game board.
You are going to have to let us stay.
Which in this case would be a reverse version of our Earth, or the future that we haven't reached yet, because you can't see the future on a game board. Mike's notes on the veil refer to it as a dimension that is a dark reflection or echo of our world. It's a place of decay and death, a plane out of phase, a place of monsters. It's right next to you and you do not even see it. Which is another interesting way of saying the future, or in this case, a possible future. An echo of what is to come versus a certainty. Number 7. The time loop. If you're having a hard time grasping everything that's being said here, we got your back. Think of the time loop in question like this. Step 1. The government opens the portal to the Upside Down in 1983. Step 2. The Mind Flayer, already born obviously and ruling the world, sends the Demagorgon out to start the process to which it'll take over the world and make it the Upside Down. Step 3. The world eventually falls. Step 4. Sometime in the future, the gate opens back to the past and the loop continues.
I think it's kind of like a time loop element that I think is very interesting, but I don't know how much of this is true.
A deadly time loop that ensures the destruction of the world and the birth of a dark echo. which might have you wondering. Number 6. So how is Will the Demagorgon then? That is a very good question, and thankfully we do have an answer via this fan theory. Think about everything that happened to Will Byers in the first couple of seasons. There are clues that this fan theory might be true. For example, why did the Demagorgon go after Will Byers and yet not kill him? It killed Barb, it tried to kill Eleven and the others, and yet with Will, it knew not just where to find him, but he took him to the Upside Down to remain for some time. Plus, remember that tendril that was within him? That might have been the start of the process to turn him into the Demagorgon. But that's not all. After the events of Season 1, Season 2 had Will Byers dealing with a very specific problem. Mainly, he had a mental connection to the Upside Down and the Mind Flayer. He was seeing visions that he himself called memories that weren't his own. So it's possible that while he was in the Upside Down, he gained a connection with his future self. And the bleed over is that he was seeing visions and memories of his future life as the monster. Plus, the Mind Flayer at times has gone out of its way to not hurt Will Byers because it knows that without him, the plan can't come to fruition, like it knows it's supposed to. By killing it, it would rather alter things, and that's not what it needs in order to complete the plan. Number 5. Other hints. Think that's all? Not even close. Throughout the series, there have been other hints that line up with this theory, especially the part where the Upside Down is the future version of Hawkins, including a character's house having a version of itself in the dimension, as well as various sounds and voices emanating in the Upside Down frequently. While the reverse is not true. Will could almost always hear Joyce's voice, but they couldn't hear him until he learned how to manipulate the electricity of the house, the Christmas light scene, and when he found a brief hole in the dimensions to contact his mom.
Will, are you here?
What's more, the Demagorgon in Season 1 seemed to always lurk around the Byers house, including its hunting grounds being the area around it. Why would the creature do that unless it had a specific connection to the area? Why not go somewhere else in Hawkins? Unless it wanted to be close to home. Number 4. Could this be true? That is the question, isn't it? Because no matter what you think of the theory, you have to admit that certain things honestly do line up from a certain point of view. However, there are some things that would need to be explained. For example, number 3, the Mind Flayer question. If Will Byers is indeed the Demagorgon, then that would mean that either someone or something else is the Mind Flayer, which means that the time loop would not be complete without the Mind Flayer being born, created, transformed, or even released into the Earth that would eventually become the Upside Down. Now, there are many potential answers to this question, including something that the Russians are working on. Perhaps the original Demagorgon eventually becomes the Mind Flayer via various means and it creates clones of itself, which would explain certain things in 2 and 3, to help conquer and of course get stronger as time goes on. But something about that just doesn't track, including why it feels the need to go to such lengths to accomplish the time loop. With all of its power, couldn't it actually speed things up? It's hard to say. Number 2. Simplicity versus complexity. One of the reasons that Lost went from super awesome show to a slog was because they tried to keep adding the mysteries one on top of the other until the audience wasn't having it anymore. And Stranger Things is a show that honestly likes to keep things simple in terms of what can and can't happen. A complex time loop storyline isn't impossible, but it would feel like a stretch and something that many fans could potentially poke holes in for one reason or another. Then again, perhaps this is the ultimate twist that is awaiting fans of the series, because virtually no one except this Redditor would see this coming. Number 1. The truth is out there. The true irony of this fan theory isn't just that it could potentially happen, it's that we honestly can't disprove the theory until Season 4 comes out. And since that might not be until the end of the year at best, that means that this theory, and many more like it, are going to stew until the answers come out. Could this be what's going on? It's hard to say, but it's compelling, that's for sure. So what did you think? What did you think of this look at the potential for Will Byers actually being the Demagorgon and being in an infinite time loop because of the Upside Down and the Mind Flayer? Were you able to wrap your head around all the twists and turns of the idea? Do you think that this is yet another wild fan theory from a die-hard Stranger Things watcher? Or do you think that elements of it could be real? Let us know in the comments below and be sure to subscribe. And we'll see you next time on the channel.
Just a reminder about our new giveaway. We're giving away the new iPad Pro or the new iMac Pro. The choice is yours. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple.